Hey guys, and welcome to Ozzie Reviews. Well, today I'm checking out the Ruger Gunsite Scout 308 rifle. This rifle's had some really mixed reviews, both online and also in print media magazines. But I thought, well, I'll check one out, and the main motivating factor in that was you guys had asked for it. I've had a few private messages online, and you guys are saying, well, Ozzie, what's your viewpoint on it? Should I get one or shouldn't I get one? And I haven't been able to give an honest answer to you guys because I haven't used the rifle until now, and certainly haven't owned one. So this is it here. I've only used it for a few days now, and this has been with the normal peep sights on it. That actually they just come standard out from the factory, okay? But I've thrown the optic on top today because obviously I'm going to do groupings, and to be fair in that department, I really do need an optic to give a true indication of its accuracy. So let's jump into it, and I'll show you, or talk about, I should say, what comes standard with the rifle. So let's start off with a run-by of it. And you can see at the rear here, you've got a really nice, generous kick pad, which is really good for 308. There's one of the spacers in there now. There's three that come with the rifle. And just overall, it really is just a typical Ruger, isn't it? I mean, it's just built like a tank, this thing. You can see that I've got the non-threaded version, so I don't have that birdcage flash suppressor at the end that you see on the 16.5-inch barrel versions. I've actually got the 18-inch barrel version here, or 45 centimeters, okay? The barrel itself, you can see at the rear here, it really starts off at a heavy barrel and then tapers down medium and then sort of a thinner barrel. So it is a 1 in 10 twist, 6-groove rifling, so I'm expecting a fair bit out of it. Moving back to the receiver here, you can see that you've got your gas port there in the receiver, so a safety feature should you have a ruptured cartridge. It'll port gases out to the side away from the shooter. The action, as you can see guys, you know this, I don't have any ammo in a firearm or anywhere near it when I'm doing a review. The action on this thing is just the typical Mauser action that Ruger have gone off. I mean, this thing is just built like a tank. You'll see the safety is at the side here. All you need to do is just push back on the safety and it locks the bolt and also naturally prevents you from firing the firearm. Flick it forward and then you can cycle the action naturally, no dramas there at all. I'll just show you here, moving the bolt or releasing the bolt, you've got a catch on the side and you have to push it right out like so, and then the bolt will just freely come out of the firearm. So let's put that down to the side here. Now the laminate stock on this is really nice too. I'll bring it up to the camera. Like, have a look at that checkering. There is just a really nice finish to that. I'm actually really impressed with it. It just feels really nice to hang on to. Just overall really nice. You've got your sling studs at the rear and also at the front as well. Now the rifle comes standard with a 6-inch Picatinny rail, okay, that's at the front here, in the spirit of the Gunsite Scout. Now, I haven't used it. I didn't decide to use it at all. I've got here the XS Sight Systems full-length aftermarket Picatinny rail. I've put some worn quick-release mounts on it, just at the back here. And I've decided to put the Zeiss 2-7x32 optic on top because obviously it's nice and compact, and it's going to be a lot more fair to use that when I'm doing the groupings later in the review. What you'll see on the top of the receiver too is it comes with Ruger rings, and they're steel rings, as most of you who use Ruger would know. That's their standard ring setup. It's got a integral mount, okay, so you only need the rings, you don't need to buy mounts. That comes with it, and at the back you've got a peep sight. This aftermarket rail here has a peep sight built in, but I just took the original one off from the rear. If you want to keep that on, hey, nothing wrong with that at all. It's adjustable, so no dramas there. At the front, you've just got the standard post front sight, so easily able to use that and hit like pig size game on the run and everything. I just find it a really good rifle for that. Now the weight of the rifle is 7.1 pounds or 3.2 kilo. Now that's bare. Okay, so look, not ultra lightweight, but it's still lightweight enough for 308 and what you're getting. The overall length of it will depend on the spacer configuration, so anywhere between 39.5 inches to 41 inches, or 100 centimeters to 104 centimeters. So you basically got 4 centimeters of adjustment. Now the bolt on this, as I say, I mean, have a look at it. It's just typical Ruger, isn't it? They really do go overkill. And what I mean by overkill is, honestly, their bolts and their actions are built that strong. In my view, anyway, they far exceed what's even required. But that's a good thing. So really heavy duty. What more can I say about that? Now the trigger on this, guys, as I say, look, it's lightened. I put that that wolf spring in it. It just lightened it up nicely for me. The trigger guard is a Zytel material, very, very tough, very, very strong. With regards to the magazine here, it's just a 10-shot steel mag, very strong as well, just a single stack magazine. You can get lower capacity ones. I believe you can get 5-round ones. So if you don't want this, sticking out so far, you can get the lower ones there. If you want to take it on a hunting trip or whatever you're into. You can also get the polymer mag. So I'm sorry I don't actually have any of them for the review. This was all I could afford at the time. So that's all that we're going to run with here. Now the cost of the rifle, guys, how much does it cost? We're looking at about $1,200 here in Australia. So look, it's not an extremely overpriced rifle, is it? And that's a great thing about the Ruger. It's rugged, reliable, and pretty much everyone can afford the Rugers. So anyhow, we'll see what we can come up with anyway. As I said, this is the first time I've used the optic on it. So let's get out on the farm now and put this rifle through its paces, and we'll see how it performs. Okay guys, I've got the optics set on 7 power because we've got a 100-yard target up, so we'll just see how we go at that distance. What I'll do is I'll shoot 5-shot groups, so let's really test out and see what accuracy we can get out of the Ruger. Now obviously this is a hunting rig and a hunting setup, but we're still going to demonstrate and see what sort of accuracy we can get. So first of all, we've got the real budget Winchester 147 grain full metal jackets. Then we've got the Winchester with the 180 grain Woodleighs. Then we go to the Federal Premium with the 165 grain Barnes triple shock, a really good hunting round. Then we go on to the Outback ammo range, which is first one's loaded with the 165 grain Sierra Game Kings, another favourite of mine. And then last one is 150 grain Swift Scirocco loaded in the Outback ammo. So we'll see what we can get with it anyway, but we'll start off 5 shots with the Winchester full metal jackets and see how we go at 100.
Okay guys, so let's have a look at the target at 100. We've got some very interesting results here. To start off with, the Winchester budget line, really, the 147 grain full metal jacket. I mean, look, we've got a fairly big spread there, so definitely not a target round out of the Ruger anyway. So let's have a look. It's probably about 3 inches, I'd say. Yep, 3.1, 3 inch spread. So look, you know, take that as the result that it is. Then when we come down with the 180 grain Woodleighs from Winchester, started grouping really nicely here, and then I think I might have pulled a shot, but it's hit the armour plating over here, and we've had some splatter go across the target. But anyhow, I wanted to keep shooting so I could show you exactly how it is. So let's have a look. I'd say about 2 inches or so. Yeah, about 2.2 inches there. Okay, if we'd kept into the group that we were getting, I mean, yeah, it's just under 1.5 inches, which you'd expect from the Ruger anyway. Then we come up to the Federal Premium in the Barnes Triple Shock. Now this is an absolute premium hunting round and very, very effective. But look at that, very nice clump there. So I'd say probably just over 1 inch. Yep, 1 inch, maybe 1 inch. Yeah, 1 inch. So we've got 1 inch group there. So look, I'm very happy with that. I mean, the Ruger isn't a bench rest rifle, as we all know, but the accuracy out of that, and especially for its application, which is hunting really, very, very good results. I'm happy with that. Then when we go up to the 165 grain Sierra Game Kings out of the Outback ammo, that was doing really well too, but then we had a bit of a spread. So probably about 2 inches there, I'd say, just under. 1.6 inches. So an average result there. We had a couple clumped together, but it spread a little. Then when we come down here, let's make sure I've got all the holes correct for the actual Swiss Scirocco from Outback ammo. With 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we've had a bit of a spread there. It's about a 2 inch spread. Okay, so look, my favourite ammo so far, let's go with the most accurate, the Federal Premium in the Barnes Triple Shock. Now we'll have a bit of fun with the rifle. Okay guys, I just wanted to show you the loading of the Ruger mag here. Look, very sturdy obviously, but there is a little bit of a trick to it I've found. Probably the best way to load it is obviously just push down, slide back. The first round goes in real easy, but then if you don't hold the back and you go to push it down, see how it'll slide out the back there? So, you know, that can be a bit of a problem. So all you need to do is just hold down the back with your thumb, push on the front and back, and they just go in fine, okay? If you don't do that, obviously it's going to look pretty cluttered and clumsy. But other than that, I mean, obviously the feeding and everything with the magazine is fine. No dramas there. It's just that that's a little tip that you probably find useful. Okay guys, look, I'll wrap up with my final thoughts on the Ruger Gunsite Scout. Now look, it's a typical Ruger, isn't it? It's rugged, it's reliable. I mean, that's their motto, and this certainly is no exception. One thing that, a few personal things that I'd change. Number one, I'm just going to pretty much get rid of the scope and probably put a red dot on it, or get a different scope that I can mount up further. Reason is like a couple of times when I was taking those rapid follow-up shots, like really, the optic was getting in the way because I was hitting my hand, or the palm of my hand, on the back of the optic. So look, it's designed for a scope or an optic up front, okay, not at the back like this. So either put a red dot or something like that, and then you'll just be a lot clearer when you're cycling that action. The other thing too, as I said in the intro, the trigger is just terrible. Well, I personally feel it is anyway, straight out of the box. That's why I had to get that light and spring for it, and then perfect. I love it now, it's just great. The other thing that you got to keep in mind too is if you are out in the field and you're hunting with one of these, I found too, like when you're trying to reload the magazine, honestly, you need two hands because it's just so unbalanced trying to get those rounds in there, I found. So you've really got to use two hands like I demonstrated from the bench, which is a big negative, obviously, if you're out in the field. I don't know how the new polymer mags are with these. That might be an improvement. So you guys who have used them, please feel free to comment on that. Apart from that, on the real positives of the rifle, look, it's short, it is lightweight, it just comes up to the shoulder nicely, and plenty of punch in that 308. So honestly, if you want a good hunting rifle that is rugged, it's going to take the knocks and you're still going to get some good accuracy with it. Like honestly, I'd love to see how I'd go with this with some tailored hand loads. But honestly, for the package overall, it really is a good rifle, but just keep in mind a few of the negatives that I've spoken about. Alright guys, well that's my viewpoint on it, so I hope you enjoyed the review. So till next time, we'll see you then.